The question now is whether the uproar in Parliament, the coal fires of the UPA, will singe the food bill. That's what it looks like at the moment. Remember that although the coal minister spoke briefly in the Rajya Sabha, the opposition shouted him down. The opposition wants the Prime Minister to speak. Today was the day when the Congress was hoping that the focus would be on its flagship program, the Food Security Bill, that it wanted to coincide with Rajiv Gandhi's birth anniversary. With Parliament coming literally to a standstill, several Congress states are unrolling their food security programs anyway. Among them, Delhi. Delhi's Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit is now joining us. Sheila Dikshit, the question quite simply is this. Why does the Congress have to link the unveiling of such an important social security program with Rajiv Gandhi's birth anniversary? Why is it that something that should in a sense be a social security program that is about the poor in this country needs to have that kind of overt political association?
Number one, I must tell you that an ordinance is in place and we are doing it on the basis of the ordinance. We've consulted, we are doing nothing that is wrong. In fact, it's a tragedy that the opposition is trying to stall a bill which is going to endeavor to make India a hunger-free country. It's a sad thing that they are doing this. We chose this date because we felt that Rajiv Gandhi was a leader of the masses and we thought his birthday there could be no better day than to start a wonderful scheme, a first time scheme, a scheme covering all the poor people of India, better than the birthday of Rajiv Gandhi.
But ma'am, the question still is, and your critics will raise this, the opposition is raising it, is not just are you linking it to Rajiv Gandhi's birth anniversary, but the timing. It's now just 2 months before the Delhi election. So if this was so precious to the Congress, why not earlier? Why didn't Delhi have a food security program earlier?
No, earlier it was not there. We were not doing it. Now I'll tell you, we are well within our right to do it on Rajiv Gandhi's birthday. We are not violating any code of conduct, and it's a bill which was being talked about for a very long time. The ordinance came into being about 2 months ago, 2 months ago or whatever. It's part of the Congress manifesto. So we are not doing anything by surprise which will surprise anybody. And as I said very, very correctly,
are you concerned now that the bill will not see the light of day in Parliament? You say it's an ordinance, but the ordinance will lapse unless it gets the backing of Parliament. It needs the endorsement of Parliament. The BJP is now saying in Parliament, till the Prime Minister speaks on the missing coal files, there will be no discussion on the food bill. My question is, shouldn't the Prime Minister just come and speak and settle this crisis once and for all if the scheme is so important to the Congress?
I agree with you there that the scheme is very important for the Congress, but I think it's probably looks to me any excuse to stall this bill, because they know that this bill, having been pioneered by the Congress party, by the current government, is going to be a game changer. Therefore, they are finding all kinds of excuses to stall the bill.
You're calling it an excuse, but isn't the case of the missing coal files, the fact that details of 50 different allocations are missing, the fact that the CBI wants to requisition 16 missing files for its investigation, isn't this serious enough for any opposition party to not conduct a parliament, in terms of business as usual?
Well, what I heard a little bit about the coal, that first I must tell you that those files which were before 2004 are also missing, and the minister has said an inquiry is being conducted. So why don't you accept that?
Let's talk a little bit about the loopholes in how the public distribution systems function already. Many critics of the food bill have said that the better path would have been to strengthen the PDS systems instead of unveil this very costly food security bill at a time when the economy is in absolute crisis. Do we even have the money for this food security bill?
Barkha ji, this is an improvement, a step forward from the PDS system. And it's something that we had promised the country, we had done it. If it had not been done, then everybody would have said that you are not doing what you had promised you would do. And now that it had been announced, we should go forward with it And this economic crisis is not going to be there forever and ever. Whenever it stops, it will stop. The states are going to handle it. And for instance, in Delhi, we are all ready with this scheme.
I ask you again then, given that Delhi is ready, but Parliament is stalled, do you not think that the Prime Minister, who is somebody who held the coal portfolio, should step in and solve this crisis in Parliament to enable the unveiling of the Congress's food security bill?
This is a decision which the Prime Minister and the Congress party in Parliament has to take. But of course, we are all interested, very, very interested that this bill should come through. And I feel a little saddened that the opposition is stalling a bill which is good for the people who are hungry in India, who we need to give food security to.
Where do you weigh in on the issue of cash transfers? The Congress seems divided on this issue, and though many have argued that cash transfers would be a more transparent and efficient vehicle for the delivery of food security.
Yeah, we have done it in Delhi. We have the Annashri program where we give a cash transfer to the woman of the family. I am glad that part of the what we are already experimenting with has been adopted by the food security bill. That is, the woman, the senior most woman is the name, is the person who is going to get it. It's going to be in her name. But let's see if the cash transfer, if there is a controversy about it, I think everybody should get together and decide.
But you would personally support direct cash transfers?
I would. Personally, I would, certainly.
Okay, let me ask you in the end, Sheila Dikshit, you're facing an election, another election. If you were to win it again, what role do you see for yourself in national politics? It's something that's asked of you again and again. What's next for Sheila Dikshit?
Barkha ji, at the moment, what is next for Sheila Dikshit is the election coming on in November. After that, we'll decide what is to be done. My very next task is the election in November.
So your battleground is still Delhi, not the national stage?
No, I don't. As I said, at the moment I see only the election, which we are in Delhi has to go through an election, Rajasthan, etc. But I am concerned with the election in Delhi. I can't just leave it now and say I'm thinking of something else. I'm not thinking of anything else.